Hello, YouTubers. Today I'm going to be talking about the Harbor Freight cheapo purple gun. I got this with their 25% off discount. I think I paid $11 for this, $11.50 or something like that, including tax. So you really can't go wrong with the price. I bought a can of spray paint and it was $10. So this is really a nice deal. Problem is, of course, like everything with Harbor Freight, being made in China, they've got their instructions completely wrong. And if you follow their instructions, you're gonna never be able to use this gun. So if you're new to using paint guns, then watch this. And if you're new to getting this gun, then watch the video too. And I always forget to ask, if you like this, please give it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Let's start off with why their instructions are wrong. All right. Here's what they're saying. All right. So they're saying that, let me get this in focus, that the middle adjuster is for the pattern. That means your fan. That means how wide your spray is going to be or how narrow. You can take it right down to the size of a bottle cap, or you can make it as big as a paint can. So that's what they're saying. And then they're saying their top one is the fluid knob. And the bottom one is the air. They've got that one right. They've got these two completely mixed up. And if you use this to adjust it, or here's their instructions in here. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Yes. Okay. So they're talking about their fluid adjustment. Now they're showing the right one, but they're telling you to loosen the collar on it, which is wrong. You do not loosen the collar on it. And then they're telling you to tighten the collar after you've had the fluid knob adjusted. Wrong again. But anyhow, let's get back to this part here where they're telling you wrong parts. Right. To get it straight, this is your fluid knob. This is the amount of paint that's going to be coming out. This is your pattern knob. This is how wide your paint is going to be. And this bottom one is your air knob, or your air adjustment. And, excuse me there, that's your air adjustment. And that controls how much air is being put into the gun. And I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But just remember, that's your fan, that's your fluid, and that's your air. And if you follow the directions, you're never going to be able to use this gun. You're going to throw it out and say that it doesn't work. So, first thing they tell you to do is to clean the gun. And with good reason. When you take this gun apart, it is filthy. Now, they tell you they don't include the tools, but actually they do. They give you this little wrench. And I'll show you what that's for in a minute. But first thing you do, now I've already loosened all this stuff up. First thing you do is you take off that. Okay? Next, with your wrench, you'll loosen this. All right? So you loosen that, and you take this out. Again, this is before you even use the gun, and this is after every time you've used the gun. If you don't use this, your gun's going to get all messed up, and you're never going to be using it. Next, you loosen this, which is your fluid. This is not your fan. This is your fluid. And for that, 13 millimeter wrench. Just first of all, unscrew it. Unscrew the spring part till it stops. Then unscrew that. Again, I loosened that up already. All right. Now you have a little spring in there. So that's what you're dealing with. Now this is your needle. You have to be very, very careful with this, because if you bend this, the gun is worthless. All right. So in order to get that out, you just use a pair of needle nose pliers. There you go. Now you take this, you take all this stuff here, and you put it in some soapy water, and you clean it all up. When you're done with it, it'll be wet. So take your compressed air, blow it in there. These things will rust. It's not quality, so it will rust. Okay. Blow it in there, turn it over, blow it down in here. What you want to do is you want to get all the water out of it after you've cleaned it. Dry this off with a paper towel, and then you're ready to reassemble it. Reassemble it, you just take it carefully. Now, another thing you'll notice, there's going to be silicone on this stuff here. You know, if you take that off, it might leak. So I just left it on. All right. So you take it carefully, put it back in there where it came from. Push it all the way in. All right. Once you get it all the way in, you can put this back together. Now put some tape, some sealing tape on there, because otherwise air is going to leak out of it. And this is what they're telling you to loosen up while you're trying to adjust the knob. You don't loosen this up. You never loosen this up. Once you put this on, you don't take it off to loosen it up. Anyhow, let me just put my phone down and put this stuff together, and then we'll go on from here. All right, so when you're setting the gun up, they say that the maximum pressure should be 50 pounds. These don't come with an air regulator on them. I would recommend you get one. You can set it at your compressor. By the way, this is just a little compressor that I use for this gun, and it's 6-gallon compressor, 2.6 cubic feet at 90 pounds. The gun says 50 cubic feet, so this little tiny compressor is excellent for this. Now, you don't want to be doing big things like a car or cabinets or anything like that, but this will work for small things. Matter of fact, this is what I did. This is the registers, and they were all rusty. And as I say, a can of spray paint was going to cost $10, so I just bought the gun, and I can do a lot of registers from now on. All right, but anyhow, when you set the gun up, what you want to do is, first of all, you pull the trigger back. Open this up all the way. Pull the trigger back, and then start tightening this up till you feel it stop. Right? That's your initial adjustment. The air adjustment is down here if you don't have a regulator. But if you're working with this, then you have to go back and forth to your compressor, back and forth, to make sure that you have it right. And it's a lot of hassle. So the more expensive gun, I think it's $32, comes with a regulator. But you really should have a regulator directly on your gun. But anyhow, when you set your air pressure, notice this is set at 50 pounds now. However, when I pull the trigger, watch what happens. All right, it's no longer 50 pounds. So what you do is you set your air pressure. Hard holding the phone. You set your air pressure with the trigger pushed. All right, so that's way below 50 pounds. Let me set the phone down. And that's way above 50 pounds. However, when I pull the trigger, it's just about 50 pounds. So I haven't really set my air pressure at 50 pounds. I've set it at almost 80 pounds. And then when I pull my trigger, it goes down to the 50 pounds. So that's why if you don't have your air adjuster on the gun, it makes it kind of hard, because you're always not going to have the compressor right at your side where you can go and you can adjust it. And if you're dealing with another compressor, a compressor that's a distance away from you, like this. You would set the pressure in the compressor up maybe another 15, 20 pounds. So instead of setting it at 50 pounds, which is what your gun requires, you would set your compressor at 70 pounds, and then you would adjust the pressure at the gun. You don't need 120 pounds of pressure coming off your compressor in order to run the gun. Matter of fact, that's not good. So turn the compressor down to the minimum that you need, and then adjust your gun. Now, if you don't have the separate thing on your gun, that's when you would turn this. And that does the same thing as your as your adjuster would on your gun, your air regulator. But when you turn this, if you turn it up, you're going to have less air. If you turn it down, you're going to have more air. So if you're using an air regulator on your gun, then keep this wide open. So I think that covers everything. You can use latex to get this quality. You can use latex paint. I think I reduced this 10%. So I don't know, 3 ounces, I think, was a teaspoon of water. And when you're using water, if you have bottled water, use that. Don't use regular tap water. You can go a little more than 10%. You can go 15%, but don't overdo it. And you'll learn after a while how much water you need in order to spray the latex paint. So I hope that helps you. As I said, just be sure that you don't follow the manual, because if you follow the manual, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're never going to get a good result, and you're not even going to be able to use the gun if you use their directions in this manual. They really need to change it. But that's it. Again, this one here is not your pattern. The top one is your pattern. And where it says fluid, that's not your fluid. That's actually your pattern. So again, I hope this helps, and I hope you give it a like and a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. Okay, one thing I forgot to say, if you are using one of these small pancake compressors, these are 1/4 inch hoses, and you're better off if you get a 3/8 inch hose. You get them in Harbor Freight for like $15, $18, something like that. But a 3/8 inch hose will put more air out, and you'll be better off. This is okay for little nail guns and things like that, but if you're continually using it like you will be with a spray gun, I would get the bigger hose.